So yeah, so we're recording this as we're trying to develop a sort of a sample process, for that other recorded sample process that other XR groups can use for how to take part in a restorative empathy circle. And so I appreciate you being willing to have this recorded and be used as sort of a case study, basically. And
Yeah. Well, certainly. I mean, especially if this can help others too. I want to make use of that and make it known to people.
Yeah, I appreciate the contribution, willing to contribute. So I just want to give I don't know if you saw the description of sort of my intention is, I call this a restorative empathy circle that has the intention of creating a regenerative culture of empathy. And that just means that we're doing mutual listening, supporting mutual care, mutual understanding. Oh, we have somebody else. Hi, Antoinette. I don't know if the times got mixed up because I was expecting you, Antoinette, at like an hour ago, according to the times. I don't know if there was, I'm not hearing you, but I don't know if somehow the scheduling got mixed up. Are you hearing me? If you have a thumbs up that you're hearing me, I guess not. Recording. So this is a perfect example of the scheduling issues for setting up the scheduling of empathy circles. And you do a pre-circle, each person gets heard, for like half an hour to 60 minutes. And that's a big part of the whole process is all the scheduling. So what we just had is some of the miscommunication about the scheduling. So we had someone just pop in and we kind of straightened that scheduling out. And I was just explaining the restorative empathy circle process, that it's really for each person to be heard to their satisfaction, to be able to fully express, themselves in any way that they want to. And we use this empathic listening, mutual empathic listening process. And so what we're doing here is the pre-circle, which is for half an hour, I'm just going to listen to you about the issues, and I'll just periodically reflect back my understanding so that you have a chance to be heard about the issues at hand before we all get together in a empathy circle later on.
Okay.
So the floor is yours, whatever you'd like to talk about with this issue, around Sky and the Santa Cruz issues, XR Santa Cruz issues.
Yeah. So I'm feeling somewhat distracted today because a certain amount of panic around the coronavirus has set in Santa Cruz, and I'm feeling that too. I feel scared and vulnerable.
So just feeling some fear and vulnerability because of the coronavirus, and kind of noticing, sounds like in Santa Cruz, it's sort of maybe getting into the culture there. You're sort of starting to notice it.
Yeah. I mean, just all of the events. I mean, everything was canceled this week, I decided to get a few more items, food items and such, to have on hand in case I'm holed up in my apartment for longer. And it seems like half the town had the same idea. So we were all at the grocery store at 8 a.m. this morning in this kind of frenzy, a little bit of a frenzy. So yeah, I'm noticing that that's making me feel a little bit lightheaded. And something that is been an issue for me in my life in general, but it impacts me a lot regarding XR, is just cognitive impairment. I have multiple sclerosis. I've had it for a long time, and in the last 3 or 4 years, I've noticed some changes. And being involved in XR, where I have to really give it my attention and track things and follow agendas and what's going on and follow through on my commitments and all of that, I'm getting to see more specifically where my weak links are in my brain.
Mm-hmm. So you have MS and it's affecting your cognitive abilities, and kind of working within XR, you're just noticing that it's really affecting sort of your cognitive abilities and seeing the weak links in maybe in the organizational aspects or different. The one thing one noticing is your microphone is kind of clicking against your shirt or something. Yeah. If just get a lot, if it could be held or kind of create a bit more space. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. Yeah. So even this morning, I was talking to another XR member, and we both have cognitive challenges, and I was mentioning that it's a very common defense reaction for me is flight. Like if things just become uncomfortable or boring or dangerous or anything, it's like my best coping mechanism is just to leave. And so I was asked, well, is that what's happening with XR? Because I'm stepping back from certain working groups, from certain things that I've been doing. And I said, no, it's I want to be doing this with XR. I want to be doing more. I'm just noticing that I'm not able to. It's been some of the things I've signed up to do, it's been months. And I'm, as much as I want to be working on them and have them on my to-do list, they're just not happening. And I'm finally just accepting that it's that my brain isn't able to follow through on stuff the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're just noticing that. I mean, you were talking with someone, and you're saying that you're going to do less with XR, and they said, "Oh, is it because of your?" I think it was because of your. What you do is usually withdraw. If you don't like what's happening, you kind of like just withdraw. It's kind of a strategy that you use, and you say, no, it's just that you're noticing that your sort of capabilities for dealing with all the details and all the different issues is just cognitively less. So it's more just something that sounds like you would like to be, present, work on it, but just with you just don't have the resources for doing that. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so the whole the emotional stuff that's come up recently, I mean, it's been there for a while, but we're starting to really tackle now. There's a big part of me just doesn't want to invest much in it, because I'm kind of trying to find that balance point anyway, between like how much I can invest in XR and still feel good about myself, still have community, feel like I'm contributing, but not taxing myself. And so like, even, I very much care about all of the people involved in this process. So I want to be a part of it, almost as a witness. I want to be there to hold space for them and to support them if I can. But I don't feel like jumping in the fray myself, That said, it has affected me that certain people, mostly Sky, have just come in with this sort of, you should be doing this and why aren't you doing that, and just it just feels overwhelming, and like there's no acknowledgement of everything we are doing and everything we have done, and that we're just figuring it out ourselves. It's not like, we're an organization that's been together for 20 years. It's like we're not even a year old. And so there's definitely, I've felt pressure there, and stress. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you're kind of looking for your level of involvement and still trying to work that out, what you have time and capacity for, and not really wanting to get too much into the emotional, I guess, the drama of it, but just kind of be present and be a witness, and maybe like some understanding that, you're just trying to figure it out yourself, and it's maybe the sort of the energy that Sky is bringing is maybe a bit intense, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
some understanding for what you've done, and you're just trying to work it out, try to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I realized just now when you were reflecting that back to me that I do have concern about this being recorded and being released, because I don't want, Sky already feels like everybody's against her and pointing the finger at her, and it feels like it's just going to complicate that, or it might, which is a worry of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're having some concern about this being recorded, and if you're critical of Sky, it's just going to add to the criticism that she's kind of receiving. So you're kind of concerned about that it might have negative consequences.
Yeah, or that it won't actually be healing. That it will create more of a fissure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that if she sees this and she sees what you're saying, it's just going to create more of a fissure between you. It's not going to contribute to the healing if she hears some of the things that you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I could just say none of this will be released until well after the full circle. So this point of,
Okay. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we're just trying this out for the first time, so we'll see how the circle goes, and
Yeah.
I don't think any of us really knows or has expectations.
We don't know
Sorry.
what's going to happen. You don't know. I don't know. We're all going to just see how it kind of unfolds, and hopefully it'll be a contribution.
Yeah. I think too, part of what's coming up is that things were just kind of growing and changing organically, and at a pace that felt about right for the people involved. And then a couple of people joined who really wanted to change things really fast, and it was just a little overwhelming for people who already felt overwhelmed by how much time and energy we're committing to this. Yeah. And I'm a little worried about, this is a different subject, but now that we're going to attempt all of our meetings via Zoom, and just the whole social isolation thing, it's and we just don't know. Who knows what's going to come of this? And I'm glad, thank goodness that we have this technology now that we can do this. But it definitely, I miss the community. I miss getting together with everyone else, and yeah.
So it sounds like there's a sense of community, and being able to get together with everyone feels good, and that the core group had sort of a sort of a rhythm, a comfortable rhythm. And then when the new people came, it was like, yeah, let's really change things quickly and sort of change the sort of the energy level of maybe it wasn't as comfortable and had as much ease or comfort to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then some concern about what's happening now with, can't see friends, can't go out. Or I guess you're doing social isolation now, the whole town?
Pretty much. I mean, I am. And, it's just, like I said, everything's been canceled. It's like all classes, all events, all gatherings, it's just kind of like this, no reason to leave your house just about,
Yeah, everything's closing down. Glad. Oh, you're saying you're glad we have this technology at least so we can connect with each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like this moment, like this morning. It's like, wow, our world's really changing. I mean, like, I thought this was going to take a little bit of time, but nope, it's happening right now. Yeah.
Whew. Getting a little shivers myself. I saw it too. So it's like you go into the store and it's just like bare shelves. Everybody's sort of in this panic. You just feel that energy. It's like, wow, something's really shifted here. And this is happening.
And I have a good friend who is on the emergency preparedness at the hospital, and I hear his worries and concerns about how they may or may not be prepared, and depending on how this unfolds. But it's just like there's just like the stress level around it all just really amped up today. That's how I'm feeling.
Just noticing that stress level that's sort of rising everywhere, and then going to the store, you just really feel it. I mean, it's just not like some abstract thing you see on TV or something. It's like right there when you're,
Right. And you're like sizing people up and like, holding your breath, not getting too close, and, if they have a glove on or not. Or,
it's like if they're breathing, I don't want to breathe in something if I get too close.
Exactly. It's like, is it good to have my windows open? Is it bad to have my windows open?
Yeah. What's the right thing to do?
Yeah. And my family's all pretty far away. I mean, I have good friends here, but I kind of realized a few weeks ago, it's like, oh, this is that window. This is that window that I could get to them in. And now it's closed.
Or you could go visit or go stay with them, like and now like you don't want to get on a plane type of thing.
Right. It just makes this whole power dynamic thing that's happening at XR seems so unimportant.
Yeah. See the whole world kind of falling apart. It's just one little event is not, within context, put it in context.
Oh. But the trees across the street from me are putting out their leaves. And the birds are still flying around. It's
like there's still beauty within the grief.
yeah. And there's still beauty and just, like nature's just doing its thing. And, it's ironic because, how many times have I said, well, really, we just need to get rid of the humans.
Mm-hmm.
We just screwed things up really bad, and nature will take care of itself if we just get ourselves out of the way. And so perhaps this is just a giant gift,
Mm-hmm. Sort of the nature will go on and do what it does, and instead of us sort of messing it up in some way.
Yeah. Are you a therapist, Ed?
No, not at all. I took on about 12, 13 years ago, I got really interested in empathy. I would say I was a seeker, kind of seeking the meaning of life, traveling around the world, came across the value of empathy, said, we really need a culture of empathy. This is really kind of what I learned traveling. And so never done therapy, learned therapy, but just learn by doing and trying to promote empathy, these skills, and sort of make them available for everyone, to take it out of the therapeutic world. It's just human relating. So.
Yeah
And
it
hopefully
is so
it'll
healing.
Contribute. Yeah, it'll heal. Yeah, can try to heal some of the disconnections that XR Santa Cruz is experiencing.
Well, I feel pretty complete.
Okay.
If you want to have a little break before your call with Antoinette.
Okay. Then I'll be listening to the others, and then we'll come together and do the mutual empathic listening process. There was a video. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but it kind of lays out, how it works, the steps, and that's the essence of it.
And do you imagine it'll be all of us in a group? Because it's quite a large group.
Yeah, we'll see. It could be a couple of small groups, and so gonna kind of see what the schedule is. What I'm hoping is to, I'll be part of the circle, and I'll be advocating for embedding empathy circles into the local XR chapter. So it's like an ongoing, get everyone familiar with the process. It's not like mediation where I come in and mediate this conflict and you go on. It's like, let's incorporate these empathy skills and practices into XR. So in the circle, I'll be sort of advocating for that, when it's my turn to speak.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, thank you again so much.
Okay, thank you, Angelee.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.